Hey, Andrew. And thank you for checking in. Appreciate it. Where am I going? Oh, today was lots of meetings and... Honestly, it could have been an email. My job is trying to do some pretty big expansions, and I think they're... I don't know. Moving too quickly, moving without forethought. They're doing things without actually thinking about how to realistically scale. Yeah, and I'm just like, you know what? You do you, guys. I'ma chill here. I mean, I kind of like the idea of barging in looking for a fight. Don't you normally want to barge in looking for a fight, Alize? Hang on. This would be you, Stola. You would be the one with booby traps and creations and all manner of death machines. Yeah, fanboy. I like how this kind of like plays out as the two of them are trying to, like, I don't know, vie for my affections. I wouldn't say the conflict, but I guess the rivalry here is Grahatia, of course, is thinking of the great warrior of light and is a fan of ours. You know, he longs to have an adventure alongside the warrior of light, his inspiration. Alize is definitely more like, no, the person though, the person. So he's a fan of the warrior of light. Alize is a fan of, in my case, Yunalesca. And so that's where this little like friction comes from, is they both want to be around me, but for very different reasons. Uh-huh. Sure, guys. Grand Cosmos! I've spent many a time in here as Yuna. So what I think it is. So remember, Graha, like actual Graha body, is still on the source, sleeping. He's been there since Aram Reborn. And Graha isn't like half consumed by the crystal tower. I think it's only his arm. Let me look. Yeah, I think it's only his arm. But it's his arm, a lot of it, and a lot of his chest and part of his face. I guess along his neck too. Let me see the back. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but so this Graha has spent probably hundreds of years in the crystal tower, and it's to the point now where him and the crystal tower are kind of linked together. And so I would make an argument to say that he's more crystal than Graha nowadays. And so the Crystal Exarch probably suits him better at this stage. Now, if we're talking about OG Graha, then that one, of course, doesn't have all of this going on. He's just Graha, sleeping. So I would say it's better to kind of think of this guy as similar, but not quite the same. Because, like, same person underneath it all. But definitely has so many, like, physical abnormalities for you to kind of be like, that might be... not quite the right moniker anymore. It's also a good way to kind of distinguish between Graha on the source and Graha on the first. Like, instead of just saying, you know, source Graha and first Graha, it's much easier to just go Crystal Exarch versus Graha. They have different names. Because the Crystal Exarch, you know who we're talking about. Graha, maybe not so much. So it's a good way to kind of distinguish these two beings that are existing at the same time simultaneously. Ah, yes. Grand Cosmos. Creepy. So the reason why I spent so long in Grand Cosmos on ice is because there's a lot of like headgear, specifically headgear, and a couple of shirts in here that I really like. I really like some of the shirts in here. It's for Ice's look. None of it will be useful for Yuna, so I will not be spending a lot of time here on Yuna. All dungeon gear has some kind of unique armor. Now, the more popular armor sets, what they tend to do is they tend to make like a craftable or a buyable version of it later in like a different, I don't know, color scheme, I guess I'll use. Is the word I'll use. Like, the Katana Ravel set used to be only found in Katana Ravel. But then I want to say recently, there was another set that came out that has a different name. I forget its name. And it's just a basic buyable or craftable that is the same look as Katana Ravel, but it looks like the colors are different. So usually at first it's a unique thing. And I don't think they've made one for Grand Cosmos yet. I could be wrong. There might be a set that I'm just not knowing about right now. Because there's a lot of gear in this game, and I do not claim to know it all. I never will. But I think Grand Cosmos gear is only found in Grand Cosmos so far. And again, it's a very specific look that I use for ice. I tend to put ice in more, I guess, tribal. I really don't want to say that word because that has a connotation to it that I don't want to use. But kind of that more wild look. Like a lot of the headdresses here look like animal heads. Yeah, kind of nomadic. Oh, thought it was on him, and it wasn't. Oh. Hi, Stella. What's up? Why are you saying you're here? Did I just miss you? Hang on. My bad. I was like scrolling up going, wait, did she say hi? I was fully just eyes glazed over, just doing healing things. I know, Grand Cosmos. Who needs to think? No headpieces. Sad days. Or the healer jacket, because I love the healer jacket in here. Aw, someone's being very nice. They're telling me what to do. Oh, I love it. Like, that's my favorite. I also like I got it, when I was doing Eden last time. We're gonna do this. But people notice the Una look. Oh, nice. People notice the Una stuff, and they were very excited. There's also a Sora in the same instance where people were like, "Oh, the cool Una cosplay," and there was a Sora monk, and I loved it. And that's the wrong button. It looked really good. You did. He was chilling out in Iconoclasm. Can I hit him? There we go. All right. I almost didn't make that. That was almost not okay. We're just gonna do that. Stay in the bubble. Victor, are you in the bubble? You're in the bubble. Cool. I'm like, you're either right outside the bubble and I'm irritated, or you're right in the bubble and I'm happy. Wait, can't hit the furniture. I think one's gonna go down. Oh, probably. I'm not too concerned about it. The piano's mine. I'm gonna die. Boom. I've been using EC. Because that's normally what they like to do, is they like to do the first letter of whatever syllable. So I've been using EC. Yeah. I don't know if that's like what the... Maybe. I can see that too. Yeah, I don't know what they've decided they want to do for like the community, right? I'm sure they'll figure it out. But that's what I've been using kind of in the interim, is just EC. Until we get, you know, more people to kind of chime in with it. Oh yeah. Right. Bye, Picto. Couldn't save you from that one. I'll probably do this just because I have to heal them. There we go. There you go. Hey. Right? You could do the Bummers expansion. Hey, that's what you say. What do you say? Hey. Hey, you stole it. Hey, you stole it. There we go. Got it. Oh, sorry, buddy. Just over here, just, you know, talking. My bad, guy. Oh, I got a nice heals. Oh no, I didn't get to respond. I saw it as I was hitting the button.
Oh, impressive.
Backlook, 'tis good to see you again after all these years. And judging by your vigorous greeting, I dare say the feeling is mutual. To be sure, a simple shake of the hand would have sufficed by way of welcome, but I shan't complain. But you must be wondering as to the purpose of our visit. We come to beg your assistance in a most urgent matter.
Shake? Beg?
Our comrades' very souls are in danger. If we are to save them, we will need the benefit of your unsurpassed knowledge on the matter. Please, will you not sit and hear our plea?
Oh, how dare you! How dare you speak thus in my presence! It was to escape such words of temptation that I hid myself from the world of men.
The Japanese voice acting is much better.
Are sinners, one and all, and I swore never again to have any part in your affairs.
I can only imagine what terrible events forced you into a life of seclusion. But I know that the Eulmore are a good and noble folk. It is not in your nature to turn a blind eye to the plight of those around you. And in treating with us, I am certain whatever mistrust you feel for man will begin to heal.
If you will not be satisfied, I suppose I could listen. After all, there's no harm in just... No, I mustn't. Not again. That damn court mage seemed to have the best of intentions too, and countless innocents died for my naivety. Oh, you know not what you ask of me. What horrors my knowledge has wrought.
Not gonna lie, I want a third option here. So I'm like, honestly, you're probably right. I agree with you, Fey Folk. Fine.
You wish only to save your friends? Nothing more? Do you swear it?
No. No.
Oh, very well. I will hear your petition, but that is all. And I expect fitting payment for my troubles.
Commensurate with your contribution to our cause. No more and no less, I promise you. With that settled, might I impose upon you to join us at the Crystarium? I'm afraid the nature of my friend's predicament calls for absolute secrecy.
Poor guy. I need to get Ixion for Yuna. That's the only mount that would feel right, I think. In this game, anyway. So that's a fate. It's a rare fate, too. Well, rare-ish. Special fate? Whatever you want to call it.
I'm sorry. You mean to tell me not only that the return of night was your doing,
Yes.
but that you hail from another world as well?
Yes.
Everything we told you, of the source, the shards, the 7 umbral calamities, all of it is true. I realize how fantastical it sounds, and I would not blame you for doubting our testimony. But given your expertise, you must surely have noted the peculiar nature of their souls.
Any other time and I would have dismissed your stories as balderdash and flummery. But upon closer inspection, 'tis plain their souls are far denser than is normal, and that they do not possess true bodies. Save you. Your body is your own. And your soul is the densest of them all.
As I said before, were it not for their heroism, the skies over Norvrant would still be awash with light, the realm yet at the mercy of Vorthri and the Sin Eaters. After all they have done for our home, seeing them safely back to their own, it seems the very least we can do.
Your tale is intriguing. Yes, very intriguing indeed. Simply to hear it is fitting payment in itself. As for your friends, I can but agree. Their valorous deeds on behalf of Norvrant are deserving of recognition, of their own fitting payment.
You will help us then?
I will. I would see my knowledge put to good use for a change. I do have one condition, however. I am not the spry young Numo I once was. As such, I will require assistance in my fieldwork and testing.
It would be our pleasure. We'll be laboring for our own benefit after all.
I like that she'd be the one to nurse the brooms. She's like, hold on. I know that magic. Ah, there's the rain. Just wouldn't be a stream without the rain. At least a 14 stream. Now which one of these gets me to Ummering? Nope, that's Calusia. There you are. There we go. Teleporting is real nice and real convenient, but there is something about just wandering. Just taking in the view. Looks real good, this game. I like it a lot. But in terms of aesthetic, I like the aesthetic of this game overall a lot. Except for one area, but that's just me not liking South Central US look. Texas. Well, we know it's helping a little bit, I guess. Aw. Does help a little bit. This is a cute little side quest. I like it a lot. And of course it leans into something we do later. But I'm so happy that they're kind of pushing this direction a little bit. Yes, that's kind of what he implied. I guess it'd be they. All the Fae are they. They don't actually have a gender. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. Appreciate it. I have tea. Glorious tea. Hell yeah, good drinks are awesome. Always love good drinks. Whoop, whoop. I'm slowly getting better at the back of this controller, but it's slow going some days. Alize, they said it was possible. It is a thing that can be done. Not that we are going to do it. Okay, but I want to know about the metaphysics. Alize, I absolutely want to know the metaphysics about what the hell we're about to do. I am that lore nut. Don't just agree. Give me the metaphysics. Somewhere in the Fae kingdom, Fae-Ul is seething that we did not immediately ask for their assistance in this endeavor. I could just ask. Man, it's true, but it's like, okay, we need a Fae lantern from the Pixies. Like, very specifically, we need a favor of the Pixies. And the twins volunteer themselves to be tormented by them, rather than going, you're a friend of the king. Can you please ask us for a Fae lantern? So So you know, Fayoul is just like, guys, I'm right here. Okay, you didn't actually change it. Cool. Away. I can still hear just the distant angry of Fayoul calling me heartless for not calling upon them. All right, friends. Phone, I put you on focus mode. I'm glad you've got it repaired. Is it time for me to break it again? Buddy, what would you need it for? I really don't. I have no idea what you'd even use it for. It's just for transporting materials. Like, what would you need a giant trolley for? What material would you need that's that big? Especially in a struggling mining town. I have some concerns. My trolley obsessed friend. So many concerns. There it is. The last one. Y'all escaped. Y'all literally have the same character model, Alphino. They just changed the coloring of you guys and put you in different clothing. Actually, hang on. I'm pretty sure that's correct, but they may have changed it in the intervening years. I'm pretty sure it's the same character model, though. Alize, stop. Go be a little bitch about it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's nearly identical character models. At least the skeleton is exactly the same. There may be like small cosmetic differences between the two, but they use the same model as a base. Okay, I literally moved it to where I could still see. Game. Oh yeah, Tesleen. Remember Tesleen, guys?
Let us begin. I trust you've prepared the clay? Very good. Now, I would have you sculpt for me a porksy. plump, with floppy ears and a short curly tail.
A porksy. I think I know what you mean. There we are. How's that?
Well, it is certainly creative. There's no denying that.
Yes, I'm no artist. Very funny.
Pay him no mind, child. Though it may look like a grotesque parody of reality, it is what the invoker believes that matters.
Oof.
You're not helping.
But I speak the truth. If successful, this incantation will turn imagination into reality. Which is why the only thing of import is what you believe this figure embodies. You must focus. Hold the Porksy's image steady in your mind's eye. Now then, as I taught you, relax and allow your energies to flow.
With flesh of clay I bid thee rise, on wings of dreams to touch the skies. What once was idle fantasy, I call forth to reality.
Not bad for a first attempt. Now, let us see what can be done for young Halric. Through the operation of the magics you invoked to animate this familiar, it is now replete with the energies required to stir the boy's soul. You need but give it a name, and it will do as your heart desires.
A name. All right, I've decided. Now. Go, Angelo!
I choose you. Dog from 8. Mother, It sort of worked. Dose 1. They kind of treat this like a treatment program. Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, I like that because it kind of reads like a terminal illness. In a way. Like the way they've kind of written it kind of has smacks of it. So it's nice that it or like if you break your arm, how you have to go through physical therapy to, you know, help your arm get fixed. So I kind of like that a little bit of I guess reality is kind of in there. And it makes sense that it would be, okay, you need to have these dosages across this amount of time and eventually you'll feel better. I like that a lot, too. That it actually takes cost from both of them. Because obviously you are fucking with somebody's soul. Alize, hun, dear, you're playing your hand a little bit. You're thinking of the little kobold that we have way back in Heavensward that never got an ending. There he is. Oh, hi, friend. Sighing and pacing, you say? It must be urgent. Oh no. Y'all be nice to Lady Chai. She's amazing. They're trying to use her as jokes, and I'm like, nah, she's one of the best characters in this expansion. Easy. I love her. She's not even like that deep of a character. She's just all sweetness, and I love her. Alize, you are the last person who is allowed to say that people should not involve themselves more than necessary. You've literally made it your life's mission to cure the tempering at this moment. Single-handedly, almost. Right? She's like, no, it's fine. I'm pretty sure our character would never be like, oh, you shouldn't involve yourself too much. Like, I'm pretty sure our character's like, well, if you're careful with it, I guess, go forth. What's that? You have a crazy idea that may or may not work? I mean, go for it. I'll be here if you fall over. Hi, Miss Chai. How are you?
Oh, thank heavens you're here.
Lady Chai, whatever is the matter?
I knew not where else to turn. Oh, this is all too much for my poor heart to bear alone.
Alone? What of Master Chai?
But that is the very reason I summoned you. He's gone.
What? What happened?
It all began after the events at Mount Gulg. With Lord Vorthry out of the way, we all agreed that a new leader must be chosen.
And so you held an election?
Yes, well, sort of. Not a single person volunteered to stand, you see. After a lifetime of leisure, we free citizens have grown somewhat indolent. Readapting to the harsh realities of life is trying enough, but to take charge of a broken city as well? No one wanted such responsibility. Nevertheless, Eulmore could not well do without a leader, and so we decided that anyone and everyone should be considered a candidate. And after we cast our ballots and tallied the votes, the mayorship fell upon my dear husband.
Well, given the manner in which he orchestrated the construction of the giant Talos, none could deny his leadership qualities.
But even before then, he had proven himself at Daedalus Stoneworks, don't forget. He is more than qualified for the role. The perfect choice. Indeed, I told him as much when his victory was first announced. But perhaps I was too forceful in my attempt to encourage him, for shortly after that he vanished without a word.
You believe he was so daunted by the burden of leadership that he felt compelled to flee? Please, Lady Chai, dry your eyes. Your husband does not strike me as the sort of man who would abandon his duty, much less his beloved wife. There has to be some other reason for his absence.
You truly think so? What about you? What do you think has become of my husband?
Oh no. Oh no. I can't be mean to her. I can't do it.
And there you have it, Lady Chai. You needn't worry. Master Chai loves you more than all the world, and he will return. Wherever he may have gone, rest assured we will find him.
I also think he wouldn't. He does seem to adore his wife.
Thank you, my dear boy. You have set my mind at ease. I will trust in my husband and await his return.
We search. Of course you did. Here is our Rowena. And she's just as awful here as she is on the first, or on the source. I say awful, but honestly she's not that bad, just, you know, a merchant. No. Think of hydrate. I got 2 hydrates this stream. Oh man. Yes. Good drinks are good. We like good drinks. There you are. Oh man, we smacked around the guard too much. What's this? What's this? The nerve of these people putting side quests in my path. Thinking that I wouldn't immediately go for them. I mean, you can kind of tell what he's doing right now. If I'm gonna be mayor, I'm gonna learn everyone's problems and try and fix them. Yep. Especially since he didn't volunteer for the job. Oh man, Andrew, slacking. Let's see. What's that? Oh, that's the society quest for crafters for this expansion. Hello. Don't need no fancy ladder no more. Can just fly. Oh yeah. Left the city completely on his own without telling anybody. Liable to be eaten. Or squished. This is really where we get the sense that he is this source or this shard's Sid. Because you can see like he's doing assessments, he's making plans, he's going, all right, I can figure this out. Like he's kind of doing what Sid likes to do. Like, yes, very intelligent, very smart. But very much like, no, I think I got this. I bet I could figure out a solution. I can do it. With the right engineering. Oh, for sure. But he was kind of pushed into that, whereas Sid usually gets to be, you know, more self-driven. He kind of had to be dragged along. This is the first time he's done it completely on his own because he wanted to. He sees problems that can be solved, and he's like, math problem. Hey, Rain. We finally caught up with him. You good, man? What do you mean? I left a note, he says. Yeah. Rip. I'm going out. I'm going to search for the issues to fix. Be back for supper. You don't know. They might eat late like regular people. Oh man. You put him on the spot, Alphino. Oh man. Making one Talos is not the same as being a mayor of a people. These are not equivalent skill sets. I know, right? That was a very eloquent way of saying grow a spine. I know, wavering. It's okay. I know. I can talk.
Well, it's you again. Well, I see you've invited your friends. Need them to fight your battles for you, do you?
I didn't invite them, as it happens, though they are indeed my friends. Well, not only mine, but every true Eulmoreans. They are the ones who awakened us to the truth, to Lord Forthry's villainy, the famous warriors of darkness.
Are they now?
Yes, they are. It would be no exaggeration to call them our saviors. We owe much and more to their kindness, but we cannot depend on that kindness forever. To do so would be a little different from entrusting our affairs to Lord Forthry. Nay, we must learn to stand on our own 2 feet. And I would have them present to witness my attempt.
Hear, hear, Master Chai.
Your sentiments are admirable. Yet admirable sentiments do not a nation make. In my capacity as advisor, I once strove to build a better Eulmore. Gave honest counsel to my superiors, drafted laws for the benefit of one and all. But in time, my values fell out of favor. There was no need for them in this paradise Forthry was creating. And so I left my homeland behind. But you, Chai News, you were content to wallow in indolence under Forthry's auspices. And so I cannot help but ask myself what manner of nation you intend to build.
I can offer no simple answer to that question. But this much I will say. It is my hope that Eulmore can become a nation which her citizens might freely choose to build together. A great many people, myself included, flocked to Eulmore seeking sanctuary. The alternative being to live in fear and die in pain. It seemed an easy choice. And sanctuary we found. As much food and drink as we could ever want. Secured at the cost of the surrounding villages. Little wonder the people gathered at our doorstep, begging to work among the bonded. The free were blind to it all, of course. Content to, as you say, wallow in indolence. In ignorance. Were I mayor, I would first take stock of the city's resources and see that they were assigned equitably. Our days of reckless consumption are behind us. The distinction between free and bonded died with Forthry. The needs of rich and poor alike must be considered if our nation is to survive. To which end I would take steps to secure channels for supplies, rekindle relations with nearby settlements, who re-establish industry, reach out to neighboring nations, and the list goes on and on. But I am no ruler, nor even a politician. I am an entrepreneur. My expertise lie in planning and profit. I haven't the knowledge or experience to run a nation. Please, Rendon, will you not help me? Together, we could solve the city's problems. Build a Eulmore for the people.
A Eulmore for the people. I'd rather like the sound of that. But before I offer you my counsel, I would be certain of your ability to perform the duties of office.
You would?
You ask me to help you solve Eulmore's problems, but first I would see you solve one on your own. Accomplish that, and you will prove both to me and the people that you are a man worth following.
Right? You got this, Chai. Oh man, he's a man with a plan. Cat is robot? Cat's at work. I'm like, what? Pretty sure that would put me in a panic. I'd appreciate it, but it'd put me in a panic. Yes, they do wander about. Considering that he is a civilian, I'm gonna do this one. Poor guy is shaken, quivering in his little boots. Wait. Oh, I gotta give the signal to him. I'm like, what's happening? Why didn't it work? Look at him go. Oh, he was fine. How dare?
Right. Right then. Form a line and make for Eulmore.
What's that noise? back! What? Run away, Talos! Call the guard!
An appropriate response.
Stay back! All of you!
Is that... Darling, you're back.
But of course I'm back. You didn't see...
Dearest, I can't...
She killed him.
Oh! Oh dear.
We actually have to heal him. That took HP off.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sorry, my darling. It's just the sight of you filled me with such joy, I couldn't help myself.
Oh, no, it's all right, dear. I should have just come out and said what it was I was intending, instead of entrusting the task to a hastily scribbled letter.
Does that mean you'll do it?
Well, I'm here, aren't I? I mean, not that my absence signified any unwillingness, you understand? Oh, no, naught could be further from the truth. I only left to enlist the aid of the former mayor's senior advisor. And now that I have it, I believe I am ready to take office.
Oh, how wonderful!
Oh no. She's going to kill him again.
Please!
2 deaths in 1 day. He's having a very exciting life. Oh no. He's down to like half HP. Yeah, after you're done killing him. Well, yeah, he nearly died. Nope. There you go. Yes. Never felt better. Mm-hmm. We go. Let me in.
Go on, dear.
They're a good couple. I love them.
Thank you all for gathering here today. But before going any further, could I ask the free citizens of Eulmore to look around? Tis a sight none of us would ever have seen under Lord Forthry's rule. Not only do we stand in the familiar presence of those we once called the Bonded, but today we welcome the peoples of the Derelicts and Gate Town too. Today we welcome the Warriors of Darkness, come to bear witness to Eulmore's new beginning. As you know, an election was recently held, at the end of which I had the honor of being chosen to succeed Lord Forthry. You place great faith in me, and I promise to do my utmost to live up to your expectations, and I will seek always to carry out the duties of this office with integrity and fairness. Always, I say, but not forever. Let it be known that I do not intend to hold this post indefinitely. I consider myself but an acting mayor, who will serve only for the interim, while Eulmore is reshaped according to a new set of values. No longer can we think of ourselves as divided, as the free and the bonded, citizens and non-citizens. The systems put in place by Lord Forthry must be undone. But even as we tear down the old, we must give thought to the new, to what manner of nation Eulmore should become. Whatever the answer may be, it cannot be decided by one man alone. And so I propose that an open forum be held, that we might all discuss how best to strive towards a better future. However, there can be no talk of the morrow unless we first address the issues of today. Securing new sources of food, rebuilding relations with our neighbors, re-establishing industry. There is much and more that needs to be done. Too much for a mere man of business. And so I pledge instead to do everything in my power to ensure our city's security and stability while we all work together to see these problems solved. The road before us will not be easy, and I know full well how daunting the prospect of honest labor may seem to some of you. But we must accept the reality of our circumstances. We must move forward. This much we owe to ourselves and to the brave heroes who risked their lives to bring back the night. Once we have shored up our city's foundations and regained some semblance of normality, let us reconvene to speak of the future. Until then, I humbly ask that you lend me and each other your strength for Eulmore!
What a way to bring in the music. That was very funny. Good comedic timing. Probably not even intentional. I like how it's like, oh, I'm not going to be mayor forever, but like, re-establishing industry and agriculture takes a minimum of 10 years. Minimum. For like the things you do right now to have tangible effects on like an actual nation. I mean, that's still 5 years. Like, he's gonna be here a while. I mean, it depends, because obviously if he, you know, decides to leave, then he decides to leave, you know? You also might want to, you know, start setting up trade relations with Crystarium. Use that airship fleet that I know you have. Yeah, you got things to do, friend. Better start redistributing the food. There's been a lot downstairs that don't get enough to eat. Oh yeah, our plans. Oh, she'll be fine. Or passed out. We'll go get her later. What you got? Uh-oh. White aura sight not good enough. Aura sight too good at the job. That was a while ago, but kinda. Although a fun little quirk of the eyes. It was supposed to be a temporary solution. Like, he was gonna, lose access to those after a while. But it's been a couple hundred years, and he has yet to lose them. So I guess he's fine. Just gonna swish to that detail of the eyes under the water. That was years ago. You don't remember that, do you? Now we come home and tell them of what we've discovered or not discovered. Tataru! Hi. Oh no. Several cutscenes will play in sequence. Oh no.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I've carried out the treatment as per Master Matoya's instructions. It should slow the destabilization of their corporeal ether quite significantly. But tell me, how fare our friends in the first?
So this Becklug's the first to lead an authority on soulcraft, are they? Sounds promising.
And Urianger's proffered solution of white auracite is rather ingenious now that I think of it. Well, while they press on with their preparations, you may rest assured we will continue to do our part here.
Oh, you're back.
You look better out of the dragoon armor, my buddy.
And none the worse for wear, I see.
Estinian! Oh, thank the gods! We've been worried sick. Did you lose your link pearl or something?
The situation in Garlemald has become more complicated. I was making my escape from the capital when I ran into one of yours, Riol. He thought it best we come straight here.
More complicated how?
Where to begin?
Someone's finally re-entered the plot.
After entering the Empire via Razad Han, I went about my mission of investigating Black Rose. It was then, inside a provincial factory, that I encountered the one who styles himself Shadow Hunter, Gaius Baelsar. Our goals being apparently aligned, we joined forces and ventured on into the heart of the capital, to the very Imperial Palace itself. There, we found a man whom all assumed dead. But his soul lives on, and he has wrested back his flesh. Xenos ye Galvus. Nor did the surprises end there, for no sooner had we arrived than he murdered his sire in cold blood. The Emperor is dead. This sent Gaius into a rage, and he charged in, blade drawn.
What's wrong?
And neither of you are dead? He seems to be beating you just fine. Only kills mooks and unarmed men, I guess. I'll have you know I whooped him soundly. They do make Gaius look badass, though. Yo. Oh, I'm back in my house. Back in melee. And specifically a melee that I have played before. I do appreciate that they're using some of the older Dragoon stuff. Because the original translation was actually a mistranslation. It was supposed to be Dragon Knight. So it's cool that they're kind of playing into that. Oh shit, I got all my stuff. Hang on. You changed my stuff again. Okay. I do want to change it. There we go. I'd be talking about what the heck all this was, but it's not relevant until after Endwalker. Yeah, it's not relevant for a long time.
Are you all right?
Peer into my past, did you?
Well, I didn't quite relive the experience as you did, but I bore witness to it all.
I'm still not sure what I think of this gift of yours, but no matter. Our confrontation was cut short when the Imperial Guard arrived. It was then that Xenos took his leave, citing boredom.
To think their research into the Echo could bear such fruit. Escaping death, jumping from one body to the next, and returning to his own after all this time. He is an Ascian in all but name.
It beggars belief, aye. But no more than a hero traversing the rift between worlds. My concerns are far more prosaic. With the Emperor dead and the Crown Prince missing, the Empire is in disarray. Until order is restored, assuming it even possible, we needn't fear an Imperial reprisal. And for reasons of his own, Xenos took it upon himself to rid the world of Black Rose. Riol has already gone to apprise the Alliance leaders of these developments. We may leave the matter in their hands for now.
Then perhaps we have seen the last of the fighting at Gimlet. Though, if it comes to civil war, I cannot help but fear for the provinces. Ah, I'd nearly forgotten to ask. What became of Gaius? Did he not escape with you?
That he did, but we parted ways shortly after leaving Garlemald. He claimed another threat had arisen which demanded his attention. He didn't elaborate, but the absence of some device or other in the capital gave him reason to believe they're planning something. Lest you worry, I believe he has well and truly shed the Black Wolf's pelt. Conquest is no longer his objective. We may safely leave him to his own devices.
Well, it's nice to have one less foe to worry about, even if we do have a mysterious new threat to look out for instead. Speaking of which, I'll see that Riol and Al Shinobi are made aware. Though we still know next to nothing, it can't hurt to be vigilant.
Well then, with Black Rose nipped in the bud, I believe I've fulfilled my part of the bargain.
That's true, but with the Archon still slumbering away, we were hoping you might agree to stay with us for a little bit longer.
Sorry, but I'm not inclined to extend my contract. Gaius isn't the only one with business to attend to.
Thank you for your help then, Estinian. I see why Alphino admires you so.
Farewell, my friend. See that you don't make a habit of dozing off in battle.
Not his bag.
I suppose we should all be getting on then. As ever, we will see to the Archon's needs. In the meantime, why not get some rest? You've more than earned it. Go on.
All right. So I am going to kind of mention a couple things, because this is where we start getting into Endwalker territory. This is where they start kind of moving in that direction. As I mentioned, a lot of that is related to Endwalker, not Shadowbringers. Do you see how they took the really interesting, like, okay, we've got this whole war going on, we've got this bioweapon, we've got, you know, these complicated things that need to be resolved in specific ways, or should be resolved in specific ways, and they just went, not important. We're just gonna... It got solved. Off screen. Over there. Xenos did it for us. Handwave. In every expansion before this one, and even in Dawn Trail, and you even saw it in like the scenes earlier with you know, China's. We don't typically just kind of throw the problems over there and hope that the player forgets about them. Typically, it's at least a side quest, a side plot. They briefly talk about it in the story of, you know, problems being fixed as an ongoing thing. And that's not great from a writing perspective. Because typically, problems don't just go away by themselves. They typically need to be solved or compromised or something. You can't just be like, oh, Xenos killed the Emperor, which effectively ended the war, and then he went and killed all the Black Rose for some reason. They didn't even tell us what the reason was. It's just, oh, we're just gonna get rid of the Black Rose because it's stupid and we didn't like it anyway. Like, you've completely removed Garlemald as part of the equation immediately, and you're just like, hang on, hold up. This was an entirely hostile enemy nation, and you're just like, nope, doesn't matter. And you're like, hold on, hold up, no. Like, this is the problem, or one of the big problems that we've been working with since A Realm Reborn. You don't just be like, oh, we got rid of that problem in one scene. And it's a footnote in that scene even. Like, that's not great. Shit. Well, again, you can kind of get the sense they didn't agree with that either, because they stopped doing it. Or now I would say they probably overcorrected in a couple of places. If I'm thinking of what I'm thinking of in Dawn Trail. I think they did overcorrect a little bit, but like they kind of realized, I think, from Endwalker that wasn't a good call. Secondly, think of what Xenos has actually done on screen and how much he actually affects the plot. Like, yes, they told me he did this. I was expositioned at. Yes. But like, on screen in a tangible way that I can actually measure, Xenos has done very little throughout all of Shadowbringers. He has largely just been in the body of a rando soldier that we don't know where he came from. just to get his body back. And that's been what he has done pretty much the entire expansion. Is he's got his bodies back. Awesome, got his body back. Then he fights these two guys. Says he's bored, doesn't finish the job for some reason. And then just bamps the fuck off. And the question you have to ask, okay, so they did all this work, right? He's in multiple scenes. They did all this work to put him back in his body and to make him an antagonist again. All right. What was the payoff? He didn't do anything once he got his body. He killed one dude. He killed his own dad. He got rid of our problems for us. Like, he wasn't even an antagonist. Well, no. They're thinking about the Civil War. Like, they're thinking about the possibility of a Civil War. He hasn't actually started one yet. And in fact, if one does start, it won't be because of him, because he's not in Garlemald, or at least not, like, at the seat of power. He's wandering around getting rid of Black Rose. You could have. Exactly. You could have. So, like, he's not even near the seat of power to cause a civil war. If a civil war happens, it'll be without him. It'll be in his absence. As he wanders the fuck off. And does whatever the hell he wants. So they did all this work, and there's so little payoff for it. No, Gaius is actually canonically still loyal to the Empire. Sure, and you're kind of right. But, so, in Japan, outside of comedy, so comedy, they'll do this. No one. There's no reason to kill the Emperor. There's literally no reason to kill the Emperor aside from to remove him from the plot. There's no payoff to killing the Emperor, plot-wise. Anyway, not important. Literally not important. But outside of comedy, where meta jokes are in fact a thing, Japan tends to firmly believe that the fourth wall is in place. Like, the fourth wall is a brick wall. They don't tend to acknowledge the fourth wall at all. Again, outside of comedy. In comedy, absolutely, they do word plays. They talk about, like, that they don't like the trope that they're in. It's great. I love their wordplay and their way of doing puns. It's very good. But in a dramatic story like this one, so assuming a serious story like this one, the fourth wall is firmly in place. So almost nothing is done for the player's benefit. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like, obviously, in terms of gameplay, in terms of, you know, it being a thing they want players to enjoy engaging with, sure. But the story, no. The story is not done with the player's feedback or input, really. The story happens as it happens. We have limited ability to decide what our specific Warrior of Light's personality is, like we do. But we really can't move the plot anywhere. Like, this isn't a branching paths kind of thing. It's no, the plot's gonna happen the way it happens, regardless of what we do. So nothing will be done to annoy the player or to bother the player or to make the player happy. Like, it's not gonna go that way, just because that's not the genre we're in. Like, if we're talking a comedy game, oh my goodness, I can only imagine. But so when we think about Xenos' motivations, we have to think about it in the case of the story itself. Like, we have to think about it in universe only, not just my irritation of him as a fucking, you know, character. As much as I would like to. Like, my feelings about him do not matter, really, as much as I hate him. That's why I typically talk about him in terms of what value he brings to the actual universe, because everything he does is so that he can fight us again. That's literally his entire motivation for doing things. That's why he does what he does. But in terms of how much value that brings to the plot, especially since we've already fought him and won, it's very little, because he doesn't engage with the rest of the universe. Again, he doesn't care about any of it. He just wants to fight us. So he has very little value as a character, as a plot device, as a thing to drive the plot in one direction or another. He just sits there and waits for his opportunity to fight us again. And that's not interesting, right? Like, you want a character to engage with the rest of the universe. You just do. Like, otherwise, why have him? Just cut him out. Just kill him. And then they did kill him, and they're like, oh, you know what? Let's bring him back. And I'm like, why? He's still not going to engage with any of the universe. Why do you exist, my dude? Anyway. Oh, so now, based on things I know now and things that I have been looking at, and because I've been looking at this story a lot because I have to analyze it a little bit, the reason why they keep bringing him back into the story is because they're trying to accomplish a very specific thing. They're trying to create a character foil for our player. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to create a foil. Now, to do that, you have to have, of course, some characteristics that are very similar to us. And you also have to have characteristics that definitely make this foil and my character opposed. Because that's what makes them a foil. That's how this works. That's part of creating one. So they're trying to make him kind of like our character's dark reflection. Now, the problem is, and the reason why he doesn't land quite right, is because there's not enough, there's not enough characteristics that he shares with us. Nor is his motivation interesting, as we've already said. The only thing that he has in common with the main character is the drive to do what he wants to do. Our character will typically do anything to accomplish our character's goals. Our character will absolutely be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna nearly die to save the world. Absolutely. It's not even a thought in this person's head. This is how our character works. That is the only trait, as far as I can tell, that they share. Again, outside of what I tell him, what I tell this character to do. Because if you think about it, he doesn't really cooperate well with anybody else, whereas we surround ourselves with friends. And I guess they also make him equally as strong as us. Like they keep trying to say that, you know, that we share a power, like he and I share similar power values, like he's as strong as I am, I'm as strong as he is. But that's not a character trait, that's just physical might. Our character also has the capacity to be complex. Our character has not been complex so far, but the fact that we are allowed to make them a little sassy and to give them a little bit more personality and let them kind of, you know, do things, you know, have complex motivations for doing things. And he is, again, he's dead simple. He's extremely simple. He has one goal, right? Our character tends to get nosy and involve themselves in the trouble of others despite themselves. Like we come into a new area, find out a problem, and we're going, oh, we're gonna fix that. And as I've said, he doesn't tend to involve himself with anybody else's struggles ever. You know, he comes from a place of privilege because he is the Emperor's son. So he comes from a place of power, whereas we come from just being a lowly adventurer. So our social economic backgrounds are very different. Right? So you can see like a lot of the things that make Xenos are exactly different from ours. Like, we have the true Echo, which is an actual blessing, and we are a character that can manipulate and mess with ether. He's a Garlean, and a major physical trait of Garleans is that they cannot process ether. Like, they can't actually like use it in like a magic kind of way. That's part of what drove them to conflict with other races. And his Echo is a manufactured Echo. It's a false Echo. He is not blessed. So you can see like everything about his power set, about his physical like body and the way he physically works, his social economic background, his personality. Yeah, like he's literally the opposite of us in almost every way, which doesn't make him really that much of a foil. Like, it makes him our opposite, which you do need as a foil, but you also need more characteristics to share with the main character, and he just doesn't. But they keep trying to do like in Stormblood, where he had that whole speech about how he and I were the same because we both have a bloodlust in us, and I'm like, that character, like, my character doesn't work like that. Like, our character, that's provably false in the expansion in which he said that speech. Yeah, he's trying to do the not so different speech, but we are so different, and that doesn't work very well. And they keep trying to push this. Again, I'm using a bit more information that you do not have, which is fine, but they do continue to try and push this, and it just doesn't work because they haven't made him useful. Like, they haven't made him interesting, and they haven't made him the same. Right? Like, they can't. And so he's just not that useful to the plot, and he's not that interesting to the character or the player. And so yeah, like that's a big issue with Xenos, that every time I see them do it, I just kind of twitch a little bit. Oh yeah, no, the first time it's just kind of like, what? Why? But then they do it again. And then they do it again. Like, I think they've done it about 3 times, as far as I know. They've done it about 3 times. And by the 3rd time, I'm just irritated about it, right? Like, it's funny the first time, but by the 3rd time, you're just like, come on, man, go away. Oh, man, the 3rd time, he's not even present. We'll get there. Don't you worry. And when I say they, I don't mean like the universe. I'm talking about the yeah, which, I mean, I've already talked about that. That was, go watch the Stormblood playthrough for that rant. But yes, how he became obsessed doesn't really make tangible sense. Doesn't make logical sense. If you like break it down and think about it, it just doesn't make any sense. And then they, as in the writers, like that's what I'm talking about when I say they, the writing team, continues to try to push a narrative that they haven't supported. Like, they haven't written it well. Or rather, they haven't written enough. There's not enough there for me to go, oh yeah, I could see the similarities between character A and character B. Because there's just not any. So, like, and this is gonna be like my big issue with Endwalker, and there's actually a few issues I have with Endwalker that are they're sneakier than issues I have with Stormblood. Stormblood, it's right up front and it's really easy to see. Endwalker, I'm gonna I'm gonna have to dig a little bit and like explain more things. Yeah, like the problems with Stormblood were obvious. They were in your face. You can clearly go, ah, there's an issue. But Shadowbringers brought a level of technical polish, you know, just more impressive writing chops to the game. The budget got increased and they did a very good job with it. But because of the extra technical polish, it does mean that you have to dig more to see some of the things that may not be working quite right. Like if you notice, I have to go, okay, from like if you tear it apart, right? If you pull back all the cool that just happened in those scenes with Estinian and, you know, Gaius and all that other stuff, right? If I tell you to, okay, all that surface crap, throw it away. It's cool surface crap. I love the surface stuff. But for analysis here, yes, like pull that away, throw it away for 5 seconds, and think about, okay, you know, what happened, right? What was the steps of this plot? How did it work, right? You have to strip all of it away, and then you go, okay, Xenos did almost nothing. He stood there. He stood there, took their attacks, and he made it look very cool. And then he left. It was very cool. It was very neat. Good fight sequence. I liked it a lot. And I love playing Estinian because I get to play melee. But like, all that is fluff. All that surface level stuff. That's not what that's not what Xenos did during the fight. Or during the stuff that happened before the fight. How he got there was he literally just walked around and like took people's bodies and continued to walk. Like he walked from wherever he grabbed the first body in like Rhalgr's Reach all the way to Garlemald somehow. So he did very little in all this expansion, despite how much, like, I don't know, screen time they gave him. Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff I have to do more. I go, okay, strip back. Here's what actually happened. And then you take that information and go, all right, what value does this bring? And if the answer is not a lot, that's going to be a problem, right? Like it drags the story down. And I'm not saying it breaks the story because let's be real, as long as a player is having a good time and is immersed in this world and is emotionally connecting with the plot and the characters, it works fine, which is why I tend to say that that games nowadays are fine. They're good. They function, right? Because that's the goal, right? That's the plan. That's the goal. That's the end result that you want. Hey, Katarina. So most video games are fine. They work, they're good. But little stuff like this drags it down just a little bit. You know, it makes it less immersive. It makes it less interesting. It makes it slightly harder to get into. And that's what I'm talking about. I'll tell you something is straight up broken. Like I did with After Years. Like After Years, I'm like, this story doesn't work. Like I use After Years as my just punching bag because it was an awful game. But like the reason why that one was like, man, fuck this story. It's bad. It's badly written. Da 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 da. Like yeah. Like that was like, no, fuck this game. Everything about it sucks. Like that is something I would say is truly broken. Do not touch it. Right? This is not that. Like, let's be real. This is nowhere close to that. It works fine. It does wonderfully. Especially if I compare the two. But I am going to always kind of mention, all right, here are things in the plot that might lower your engagement with it. Meanwhile, in Garlemald, oh man. Suddenly, civil war. Yep, Garlemald's being removed as a plot point for a little bit. At least the war with Garlemald. I thought you were gone getting rid of the Black Rose. What are you doing? How are you there and yet not there? Somehow. What are we doing? Aw, cool. Steady work. And a roof over their heads and some food. Dun dun dun. I don't know. Recognize that armor? Uh-oh. Okay. So we have... I believe that was the end of, like, the first patch after Shadowbringers. I believe that that's where that ends. So we will call it here. And pick it up next time. Probably. Yeah. I kind of wish I'd be like, oh, plot twist, but at this point they've done it a few times. You have 3 guesses on how Ardbert is there. Anyway, have a good night, everybody.